I want to be the guy who's going to fight for that title. And Joe Lauzon's the next victim.
I'm going to shake things up. I'm going to come at different angles he's not used to. And I'm winning this fight.
If Joe thinks that he's better at any one aspect, I think he's kidding himself.
If he doesn't think I'm faster or stronger or better than anything in him, he's in for a rude awakening.
Let's do this! Time to end this suffering. I need a minute to myself. Why? You will never get to me. What can't be done, I'll do myself. Why? Why do I keep on? Why do I let control? Why do I let you fall? No one, I'm wrong. Don't fight. Why do I let you fall? Why do I let control inside? Why do I let you fall? No one, I'm wrong. Don't fight. Make the pain, no escape, you step to this. Make the pain, no escape, you step to this. Make the fight, break the fight, break the person. Make the pain, no escape, you step to this. Make the pain, no escape, you step to this. Make the pain, break the pain, break the person. Into pieces.
We welcome you inside the sold-out Broomfield Event Center in suburban Denver, Colorado. Yes, the Octagon has returned to the great state of Colorado for this UFC Fight Night live on Spike. Not a ticket to be had for this one, and it is going to be a very special night. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg. Welcome once again to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. One could make the argument that tonight we will feature the greatest card ever assembled on Spike TV. The return of Houston Alexander, two of the top welterweights in the world today, and our main event with Kenny Florian and Joe Lauzon features two of the top lightweights in the world today. And it's a big night here on Spike because immediately following our fights, it is time for the Ultimate Fighter. Team Rampage against Team Forrest, and then the premiere of the brand new series here on Spike, DEA. My partner is always Joe Rogan. Brother, we've been looking at this fight card going, wow.
Yeah, this is a stacked fight card. So many sick fights. And, of course, the headlining fight, Kenny Florian versus Joe Lauzon, is just a phenomenal lightweight matchup.
What started as a battle of Massachusetts has turned into a little bit of a war of words.
Well, you know what? There's always psychological warfare that goes with any fight, and this fight is no different. Kenny Florian, you have in Kenny, a very intelligent, calculated guy who's got world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, solid Muay Thai striking, and a gang of experience, including a fight with a former lightweight champion in Sean Shirk. And in Joe Lauzon, you've got a kid who's absolutely fearless. Taking on Jens Pulver, he was thought to be a big underdog, knocked out Jens Pulver, and now, since the premiere of The Ultimate Fighter, the end of The Ultimate Fighter, has been training with BJ Penn in Hilo, Hawaii, and has made tremendous improvements in all aspects of his game.
Both these men, veterans of the Ultimate Fighter reality series, as is the man who returns to the Octagon tonight, the winner of the Ultimate Fighter 5, none other than Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz ready to step back in the Octagon. He hopes to remain unbeaten.
In the lightweight division, we've got two very talented, young, up-and-coming fighters. In Nate Diaz, we've got a guy with a great ground game, lots of experience, good boxing, and excellent reach, taking on the very gritty Kurt Pellegrino, who has an excellent ground game himself, along with some terrific stand-up.
In the light heavyweight division, Matt Hamill faces Tim Boetsch.
Matt the Hammer Hamill, a world-class, internationally experienced wrestler with serious knockout power in his punches, taking on another man with some serious knockout power in Tim Boetsch, who looked absolutely spectacular in his UFC debut.
And it's time to turn up the heat.
Caro the Heat Parisian, a top judo player who is one of the top contenders in the welterweight division, is taking on a man who many people feel is the most dangerous striker in the division, Thiago the Pitbull Alves.
And coming up next, it's our first fight of the night. As dangerous striker, Houston Alexander is set to take on the Sandman, James Irvin. This is UFC Fight Night Live on Spike. right, here we go. The start of a spectacular night. Here only on Spike TV, UFC Fight Night Live, The Ultimate Fighter, and then DEA will begin in the light heavyweight division. Houston Alexander blasted onto the scene with not one, but two devastating knockout wins. Tonight, he tries to take down the Sandman. With nicknames like the Sandman and the Assassin, you can be guaranteed that tonight's bout between James Irvin and Houston Alexander will be a stand-up war.
Matchup is perfect for me. My style is that, it's stand-up. UFC fans want to see me knock James Irvin out.
Houston Alexander's biggest strength is his stand-up, and that's what I'm going to beat him at. And I think that's going to show that my striking is in the upper levels of the UFC.
One of the hardest punchers at 205 pounds, 9 of James Irvin's 13 professional wins have come by knockout or TKO. Still looking for that career-defining performance, though, Irvin plans on making a statement tonight.
This 5,000 feet elevation is really kind of tough. It's burning my lungs out, but I'm up here pushing as hard as I can. But I'm not going to think about that. You know, it's a fight. It's supposed to be scary. You know, it's supposed to be tiring. So I'm going to go out there and let him loose. You know, bombs away.
One of the UFC's breakout stars of 2007, Houston Alexander thrilled fans last year with his memorable knockouts of Keith Jardine and Alessio Sakara. Now, with everyone paying attention, he begins his assault on the elite.
I'm no joke. The UFC will see that I'm no joke. And I plan to go in and go after this guy with no mercy.
Our tale of the tape is sponsored by Bud Light. Bud Light keeps it coming. Light heavyweight matchup between Houston Alexander, 36 years old, and James Irvin, 7 years younger. He is 29 years old. Irvin is 2 inches taller. He will have a 3-inch reach advantage. To get our night officially started and to provide us with the official introductions for our first fight of the night, the veteran voice of the Octagon, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Broomfield Event Center in Broomfield, Colorado for UFC Fight Night Live on Spike TV. And now, it's time to begin our first bout of the evening. 3 rounds in the UFC Light Heavyweight Division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a Vale-Tudo fighter, holding a professional record of 13 wins with 4 losses and 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 205 pounds. Fighting out of Sacramento, California, James the Sandman Irvin. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a wrestler and a Muay Thai kickboxer. He holds a professional record of 8 wins with 2 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 205 pounds. Fighting out of Omaha, Nebraska, Houston, the Assassin, Alexander. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Steve Mazzagatti.
Steve Mazzagatti, our referee. The Cornhuskers fans are here tonight in Colorado, supporting Houston Alexander, set to take on the Sandman. Tonight's clock sponsored by Subway Restaurant. Subway, eat fresh. Alexander quickly. Unbelievable.
Houston's trying to say he's all right, but he is still out on his feet. He got hurt very bad there. I mean, everyone always feels they're all right. Let's look at it again, though. He got cracked. Let's look at this again. He got hit with that Superman punch, and Steve Mazzagatti rescued him. Watch this again. Bang. He is gone here. Steve Mazzagatti rescued him, and he got up. But watch this. If you see him trying to get up when Steve Mazzagatti was on top of him, I mean, it's understandable. Right now he feels fine, but I think it was a good call by Steve.
Well, the damage that can be done to a fighter who cannot intelligently defend himself is scary, Joe. And so if he's out for a half a second, you got to prevent that other punch from happening.
Here it is again, Mike. Watch this beautiful Superman punch by Irvin. And Houston goes down. Now, this is the important part. Watch this. Watch when he connects again. Houston goes limp.
Boom, right there.
Right there. That's it. That's a wrap, man. You don't want him taking any punches while he's unconscious. He might have recovered quickly, but he was out.
Our replay sponsored by Sega's Condemned 2 Bloodshot. A disappointed Houston Alexander. And snake bitten in his last few fights, James Irvin. He had the knee injury, then the illegal knee to the head, stopped the fight there, but he is the victor here tonight. James Irvin. Well, he lives up to his moniker of the Sandman as he finishes Alexander quickly. The Sandman, James Irvin, has made his way into the UFC record books. He has tied the quickest knockout in UFC history. With the official decision, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Steve Mazzagatti has called a stop to this contest at 8 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by TKO, James the Sandman Irvin.
James Irvin wins it in just 8 seconds. Here's Joe.
All right, I'm here with the winner, James Irvin. Now, James, obviously there's a lot of boos here. Very controversial. It looked like you landed a very clean punch. You dropped him. You hit him again when he was down, and it looked like he was out when Mazzagatti stopped it. Do you agree with that?
The first one barely got him. It barely got his chin, but the second one was about as hard as I could hit, and it was pretty solid on. You guys can watch right now. That one went by. That's a pretty big one. There it is. So it looked to me like he was already out. I would just, Colorado, you guys are great. I would give anything to fight Houston again right now. If we could do it again right now, I'm down. I'm down. You want to go to the parking lot? We can go out in the parking lot and do it.
Well, there's no need for that. Look, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on tying this. The fastest knockout in UFC history, 8 seconds. You tied that tonight. Everyone here was looking forward to a long and exciting bout. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, but fortunately for you, you got the victory.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I just want to thank Dana White for bringing me back. I had a horrible year last year. They stuck by me with a knee injury. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Joe Silva. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Colorado.
James Irvin, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm here with the always exciting but disappointed right now, Houston Alexander. Houston, a lot of people were looking forward to a great stand-up war. You got hit clean, you got dropped. You feel like the fight should have continued.
You know what? Nebraska's still in the building. Nebraska in the building still. Rematch. I don't know about that one. I got hit hard. I got hit harder than by my kids than that. But I don't think it was clean. But I'll give it to James.
We look at the replay with us and talk us through this and give us your opinion of how this all went down. He hit you with the first punch and dropped you. Talk us through the whole thing.
You know what? I had my hands up, and I actually didn't feel anything at all. I was trying to get up, and next thing I know, the referee was coming in.
That second punch right there.
I was still conscious.
You were still conscious, but the second punch right there, when you went back and you laid back with your arms up, you're saying you were okay here?
I was okay. I was still conscious. I got up and asked.
Right here.
I was still conscious. I was still conscious, Joe.
So you feel like you should have gotten more of an opportunity to continue the fight?
Yes, we can do it again. We can do it again. That's crap.
Well, look, you have fans all over the world and all throughout this building, and I'm sure they would love to see a rematch, and I know I love to see you perform. Give another round of applause for Houston Alexander, ladies and gentlemen.
Bringing a little Big 12 into it tonight, Nebraska in this Colorado house. But James Irvin, the Sandman, ties the UFC record for fastest knockout in UFC history. Coming up next, it's our first lightweight showcase of the night as Ultimate Fighter 5 winner Nate Diaz faces Kurt Batman Pellegrino. This is UFC Fight Night, live on Spike. Inside the locker room of Nate Diaz. Our locker room cam is sponsored by the Forbidden Kingdom, in theaters April 18th. The winner of the Ultimate Fighter 5, Nate Diaz, is set to take on a very tough opponent. In fact, his toughest opponent yet in Kurt Batman Pellegrino, 17-3 in his mixed martial arts career. jam-packed inside the Broomfield Event Center, including Denver Broncos quarterback Jay Cutler checking out the Ultimate Fighting Championship here tonight. Ultimate Fighter winner Nate Diaz has won his 2 fights in the UFC since conquering the house. Both never made it out of the first round. But tonight, he moves into a different league at 155 as he faces Kurt Pellegrino. Nate Diaz wanted to step up in competition after 2 impressive UFC wins. Tonight, his wish is granted as he takes on highly regarded contender Kurt Pellegrino.
I think I'm better than him, and he thinks he's better than me. And when 2 people really believe that and they're staring at each other across the cage, then this is going to be a good fight.
I feel like I match up good with Kurt. I train with guys just like him, and wrestlers, jiu-jitsu guys, boxing. I've worked it all, man. I'm ready to go, so you better be ready for me.
After getting knocked down in the early seconds of round 1 against Alberto Crane at UFC Fight Night, things didn't look good for Pellegrino, but he showed the heart of a champion as he roared back to win by TKO in the 2nd round. Now, he looks to teach Nate Diaz lightweight fighting 101.
I'm really looking to go 15 minutes, grind them out, and get my hand raised at the end. I'm looking for a W.
The winner of Season 5, Nate Diaz, has backed up his Ultimate Fighter title by winning his next 2 fights, barely breaking a sweat. Neither fight has made it out of the first round. Tonight, he'll be put to the test.
If I win this fight, people know I'm for real. They'll know I'm not messing around.
Our tale of the tape for this lightweight fight is sponsored by Bud Light. Bud Light keeps it coming. 22-year-old Nate Diaz against 28-year-old Kurt Pellegrino. You see, Diaz is much taller, and he will enjoy a 5-inch reach advantage. Once again with our official introductions, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a wrestler and a Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 17 wins with 3 losses. Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 155 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Jupiter, Florida, Kurt Batman Pellegrino. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a boxer and a jiu-jitsu fighter, holding a professional record of 8 wins with 2 losses. Standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at 156 pounds, fighting out of Stockton, California, Nate Diaz. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of this contest is Herb Dean.
Nate Diaz has won 7 of his last 8 fights. His last loss all the way in 2006. Sariani, Edith here tonight. Broomfield Event Center, suburban Denver, Colorado.
Ready. Let's do it.
Tonight's clock sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Subway, eat fresh. Quickly, Diaz comes out.
Nate has been waiting for someone that's willing to stand and strike with him. Pellegrino takes him to the ground instantly. Nate has an excellent guard. Solid Brazilian jiu-jitsu game. But Kurt Pellegrino's got his back here.
Diaz, a brown belt in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. His longtime trainer, Cesar Gracie. Pellegrino comfortable in that game as well. A black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Both guys very solid on the ground. Nate is a brown belt under Cesar Gracie. And a brown belt under Cesar Gracie is a black belt under a lot of people.
Absolutely. He just earned that belt recently, and he has really been good, Nate Diaz, since winning the Ultimate Fighter, beating Sun Sal in 4 minutes and 10 seconds, and then Alvin Robinson in 3 minutes and 39 seconds. He hasn't been out of the first round.
And what we're seeing here is some very technical ground fighting. Both these guys, Nate working very hard on defense, controlling Pellegrino's wrist, making sure he doesn't get a real dominant position or get to a point where he's got his back or anything. And he's ready to roll out of this here. And then Kurt obviously trying to retain control. Looks like he's got a Darce choke. Nope. He's on top in Nate's half guard, and Nate immediately turns it into full guard.
Joe, good start for Kurt Pellegrino.
Yeah, again, this is a step up for Nate Diaz, but this is what Nate Diaz has wanted. He asked Joe Silva for some tougher competition, And he's got it.
Well, there are so many elite fighters at 155. Pellegrino, one of many. Nate Diaz, just 22 years old. Testing his skills against the 28-year-old from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Oh, good elbow there.
Solid punches from the guard by Pellegrino. Pellegrino trying to pass, but Nate Diaz, again, has an excellent guard. Oh, big right hand by Pellegrino. And
Pellegrino looks excellent. And all the way to side control.
Very nice.
Trying to finish it early.
Oh.
Pellegrino just teeing off in side control.
And he's got
Diaz is in trouble.
He's in big
on top
trouble.
of the action.
We first saw that position with Andre Semenov and Ivan Salivary.
Back to half guard, Joe.
Kurt passed right through it. And Nate doing a good job recovering guard. His face is bloodied up, though. There's a lot of blood.
See if he can get to that dominant position again. Kurt Pellegrino coming off the win over Alberto Crane.
Big elbow by Pellegrino there as well, right in the area that's cut. We can't see how bad the cut is from this angle, but there's blood all over.
There's going to be
Nate
another
Diaz's
one if he keeps eating elbows like that.
It looks like it's in his ear and on his eyebrow. And Nate rolling to his...
Yeah,
Kurt's
Diaz
got
has
his
a lot
back.
of problems right now.
Kurt's got his back, but he's got no hooks in. But he does have under control. And he always
Trying
got
to
hooks.
finish it, Pellegrino. Plenty of time to work. 1 minute 50 seconds remains in round one.
Nate is in a lot of trouble right here.
He does not look comfortable.
He's got great defense. He stays calm, but he's getting beat up here.
He's truly in survival mode right here, Joe, isn't he?
Pellegrino let that go and tried to switch to a guillotine. Nate defends. His defense is solid, but in that one position, he took a lot of strikes. That position from side control, when a guy's on top of you and has one arm trapped in between your legs and the other one behind his arm, is a very dangerous position because you really can't defend your face. And the guy has one arm free to pound on you.
Diaz's last loss in a WEC fight in October of 2006 was ironically to Hermes Franca, who awarded Kurt Pellegrino his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Nate back to his feet here. And Nate working to try to get a takedown himself.
Lightweights here. Welterweight championship on the line. UFC 83, Sarah versus St. Pierre. Rich Franklin, Travis Luter, Michael Bisping, middleweight debut. Tickets sold out. Log on to 83.ufc.com. Montreal, Canada, the Bell Center, April 19th. We return to Colorado for the first time since UFC 2 here tonight. And go north of the border for the first time in UFC history in a couple of weeks.
Double underhooks here by Nate. He lost it. And he's using the knees good in this position. Good knees to the leg, occasionally to the body.
Nate Diaz is a gamer, Joe. We knew that coming in.
Oh, him and his brother are both savages.
And he's trying to get himself right back into this fight. I know one thing. He has withstood the pressure of Pellegrino in round one. And we head to round two. Nate Diaz got rocked.
Yeah, here's all the damage that Kurt Pellegrino landed. Some good right hands from the guard.
That cut is on the right eyebrow of Nate Diaz. Southpaw stance. Looking to get right back into this fight. Red trunks for Diaz, black trunks for Pellegrino. Nate Diaz, winner of the Ultimate Fighter 5, the lightweight winner. He defeated Rob Emerson, Corey Hill, Gray Maynard. And then when Manny Gambarian separated his shoulder, Nate Diaz became the winner. Don't forget, Ultimate Fighter comes back to Spike here tonight. Team Rampage against Team Forest right after we are done with our great night of fights.
Kurt Pellegrino with the takedown. Very nice. Timed that punch. Shot right underneath it. Into half guard. That was weird. He moved into full guard. He did it. I mean, Nate didn't do anything there. That was very strange.
Trying to deliver some more elbows. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
I wonder if that was an error or a strategy. It seemed like he had that dominant position in half guard. He just decided to. Okay, now he's
he had that
shot
side control
over
in the first round, Joe, and did a little bit of damage, but then fell back into half guard.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a dangerous guard. Nate Diaz could take his back here if he could shoot under. And he's trying to get a Kimura. This is a bad spot for Kurt Pellegrino. Nate Diaz.
Nah, Kurt Pellegrino says not a chance here.
He popped out of it. But Nate does have a dangerous guard, and he's very good at recovering it. Pushes him off.
And right back down. Pellegrino's wrestled for 20 years.
Nate trying for a guillotine here, but he can't get a hand under.
Pellegrino, a grappling record of 93-3. In his loss to Joe Stevenson, he suffered a broken hand, but returned with the win over Alberto Crane.
And a very gutsy win at that, because he was caught by a huge kick very early in the fight. Rocked, big cut through his lip, a hole in his face, literally, and went on to win that fight. And win it in dramatic fashion. Nate again trying for that Kimura, and he can also use that to sweep, but he's giving his back up again.
See if Pellegrino takes him right back down.
Oh, beautiful throw! But Pellegrino uses the momentum to stay on top.
2.5 minutes remains in round 2.
You know, this is really shaping out to be very, very technical on the ground.
Which you assumed it could be, Joe, with one brown belt under Gracie and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt as his opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Kurt Pellegrino's got to be careful here.
Diaz starting to tee off.
He stays tight, holds onto the leg.
Taking him for a ride.
Brings him down, but he's got to look out for a triangle. He's got to look out for that right leg. If Nate Diaz gets that right leg over, he's got it. He
pulling down. Nate Diaz says he's going to win. Look at Nate Diaz.
Double fingers and a fully locked in triangle.
It is all over.
Whoa!
Nate Diaz by submission. He knew he had it.
Outstanding performance by young Nate Diaz. Wow.
He knew he had it.
Man, and you know, and submitting a guy like Kurt Pellegrino, what a huge feather in Nate Diaz's cap. Very impressive. That's 2 triangles in a row, and against 2 very tough guys. Alvin Robinson is no slouch. He submitted him with the triangle, and then he got Kurt Pellegrino, which is just huge. Let's look at this again. The Sega replay. Here's the takedown. Now, at the takedown, those long legs and Nate Diaz, he holds onto the head, and as soon as he gets that right leg over his left and puts that foot in place under the knee, bang, look at that. Double thing, he knew he had it. That's a tight triangle, squeezes, doesn't even pull the head down and finishes it. Here's one more look, and that's beautiful. Look at that, he flexes and gives you double fingers.
The replay sponsored by Sega's Condemned 2 Bloodshot. It is a triangle choke. And another win for the winner of the Ultimate Fighter 5, Nate Diaz. Back with the official decision. The UFC light heavyweight champion, Quentin Rampage Jackson here tonight. Don't forget, immediately following our live fights, it is the Ultimate Fighter Team Rampage versus Team Force, regular time, Wednesdays at 10 p.m. here on Spike. Love that guy. Here's Bruce Buffer with the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes 6 seconds of round number 2, declaring the winner by tap out due to a triangle choke, Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz wins again. He's 4-0 inside the octagon. Here's Joe.
All right, I'm here with a very happy Nate Diaz. Nate, you told Joe Silva you wanted to step up in competition. You wanted to take on some top-ranked contenders. How good do you feel right now after that victory?
I feel great. You know I could do it because I train with top fighters like Nick Diaz, Jake Shields, Gilbert Melendez, and you know, I just want people to know, like, sometimes people think the Ultimate Fighters are sheltered. Not me. I ain't looking for no sheltering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, it was a little tough going in the first round. Did he get you nervous at all?
No, I'm kind of slow starter, man. I needed to wake up in there. I've been like that all day today. So I knew, I was like, he can't keep this up for 3 rounds. I know I'll stay alive, you know what I'm saying? He did good, though.
Well, take a look at the Sega replay and talk us through one of the most entertaining triangles we've seen all year.
He tried to dip me up. I had the guillotine kind of locked. Yeah, he shouldn't have picked me up like that. That's what got it locked. I kept it locked. I knew I was going to have it. Watch this. I was like, I got it.
Now, this is where it's important. As soon as you got that foot locked under, you knew it was over.
Yeah, man. As soon as I locked it, I knew. That's why I kind of threw my hand up. I knew it was up.
I guess they don't want to replay your double fingers.
Yeah, what's up, man? Show it again.
Well, it's too late. It was live. You got the victory. Congratulations. A huge feather in your cap for 22-year-old Nate Diaz.
All right. Yeah, thanks a lot. Hey, it's great out here. It's beautiful out here. I love it. Hey, if you guys want to come train at Stockton, you're very welcome. Anybody, Stockton, Cali, baby. I want to thank my coaches, Cesar Gracie, Nick Diaz, Richard Perez, my boxing coach, and Victor Gowden for coming out here with me. And my whole team, congratulations to Lucas Maza on his recent win.
Nate Diaz, ladies and gentlemen.
He wanted to step up, and he's proud to be the kid from Stockton. Nate Diaz helps to return to Colorado, and then we go to Canada for the first time very soon. Later tonight, it is our main event of the evening as top lightweight contenders Kenny Florian and Joe Lauzon face off in an all-Massachusetts battle. Tonight's UFC Fight Night Live on Spike is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Subway, eat fresh. And by Sega's Condemned 2 Bloodshot. Welcome back to Broomfield, Colorado. Welcome back to UFC Fight Night Live on Spike. Speaking of Spike, tonight, 11 o'clock, it's the premiere of DEA. Nothing like this has ever been seen before. It's a show that takes you inside the day-to-day actions of the Drug Enforcement Agency. And with more, here's Joe Rogan.
All right, I'm here with Justin Country Moore and Rick Woody Gatewood. Woody and Country. I'll just call you guys that? All right. These guys are the stars of the new Spike show, DEA. That's probably one of the most dangerous jobs in the entire world.
Yeah, it can be dangerous. I'll tell you what, though, watching these guys, they scare the hell out of me in there. So, I don't want to pretend like we're as bad as these guys.
Well, people here are only punching and kicking you. You don't have meth heads shooting at you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No guns. But, yeah, it can be dangerous, but we try to keep it as safe as possible.
Now, what attracts a guy to a job like that? Like, what made you want to become a DEA agent?
Well, see, I'm a task force officer. Our group is made up of DEA agents as well as task force officers. When you said, like, we're the stars of the show, you know, I'm not. I'm just one person that's in the show. I mean, there's a whole group of guys that contribute to what we do. There's, officers from my police department, the Detroit Police Department, and, we all like the thrill of the job, and it's exciting, and we're out there combating the war,
So, now I understand that you trained at Quantico.
Yeah, that's right.
And how much of your training had to do with martial arts? Did they incorporate that?
Yeah, I mean, very little. We had some ground fighting things and that kind of nature, but not to the extent of these guys. These guys would kill me. They'd kill me.
Now, are you guys fans of the UFC?
Oh yeah, I enjoy it. I love watching them, and I think Woody's a pretty big fan, actually.
Are you a big fan?
Yeah, I follow the sport a little bit. Chuck Liddell's my favorite, though. So.
All right, so tell us, what do you guys think about the main event tonight? Kenny Florian versus Joe Lauzon. What do you expect?
Florian, he's solid. He's tough. He's very good. He's very solid, and he's going to put on a good fight, though.
All right, well, good luck in getting those meth heads off the street. Back to you, Goldie. DEA tonight on Spike TV. Watch it.
We will for sure, Joe. After our fights, it's The Ultimate Fighter, and then the premiere of DEA, 11 o'clock, right here on Spike. Later tonight, it is our main event of the evening. As one of the top contenders in the lightweight division, Kenny "Ken Flo" Florian faces rising star Joe Lauzon. And coming up next, from The Ultimate Fighter 3, it's Matt the Hammer Hamill taking on the Barbarian, Tim Boach, who enters the octagon for the second time. This is UFC Fight Night, live on Spike. Ultimate Fighter 3 veteran Matt the Hammer Hamill in his locker room. Our locker room cam, sponsored by the Forbidden Kingdom, in theaters April 18th. Matt Hamill set to take on a virtual newcomer in Tim Boach, who trains with the Irish hand grenade Marcus Davis. And the Barbarian certainly burst on to the UFC scene. Great night tonight here on Spike. There you see former welterweight champion, and a couple of times he's been a coach. Matt Hughes, the original Ultimate Fighter, Forrest Griffin, The new Ultimate Fighter begins tonight. Team Rampage against Team Griffin immediately following this UFC Fight Night Live. Time for the light heavyweights fighting on just 10 days' notice. Tim Boach hammered David Heath, secured his spot in the UFC. Tonight, he faces the Hammer, Matt Hammer. Tim Boach made quite an impression in his UFC debut in February. Matt Hamill wants to send him back to the drawing board and turn in a dominant performance tonight.
I got my heart on fire. I got mental toughness ready. It's when I get in the ring, it's all about me, and it's showtime.
You're going to see me dropping the hammer. I'm going to be throwing some heavy hands. I'm going to make life rough for him in there.
Not many people knew Tim Boach when he took the fight versus David Heath on short notice in February. But after his impressive first-round stoppage win due to strikes, everyone was talking about the former collegiate wrestler.
I will deliver the same type of performance that I did against David Heath. That's just how I train. I train to finish fights. If I get in there and don't finish a fight, I feel like, my opponent survived, and that's a moral victory for them.
Matt Hamill is a standout wrestler who has won 3 of 4 UFC fights. The only loss, a controversial decision to Michael Bisping last September. Now returning to the octagon for the first time since he was sidelined by injury, the Hammer is ready to pound his way back into the win column.
The can't leave it to the show. I've been situation or knock him out.
Our tale of the tape for this light heavyweight matchup, sponsored by Bud Light. Bud Light keeps it coming. Matt Hamill, 4 years older than Tim Boach. Matt Hamill have a slight reach advantage. Hamill and Boach set to face off inside the octagon. And with the official introductions, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a freestyle and Jeet Kune Do fighter, holding a professional record of 7 wins with 1 loss. Standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at 206 pounds, fighting out of Sunbury, Pennsylvania, Tim the Barbarian Boach. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 5 wins with 1 loss. Standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 204 pounds, fighting out of Utica, New York, Matt the Hammer Hamill. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Adam Martinez.
So Adam Martinez is our referee. Tim Boach against Matt Hamill.
Fighter ready? Fighter ready? Let's go to work.
Here we go. Tonight's clock is sponsored by Subway Restaurant. Subway, eat fresh. Early start, Boach looking for the strikes. Knee.
Matt shooting for the double. He's got Boach down.
These
He's
are
on
2
top.
excellent wrestlers, Joe.
Well, they are excellent wrestlers, but Matt Hamill has a significant advantage in both international experience and really MMA competition as well. But Boach looked fantastic against David Heath.
Boach wrestled at Lockhaven, which is a wrestling powerhouse in Pennsylvania. Division I in wrestling, Division II or III in all the other sports.
He's got to be careful here. It looks like Matt is working on some sort of a neck crank. Hamill is a powerful, powerful man.
One could make the argument that Matt Hamill should be unbeaten in his Ultimate Fighting Championship career because that was a very controversial decision that went against him in London and went the way of Michael Bisping. Hamill in half guard right now.
Yeah, there's very few people thought that Bisping won that fight, but it was a good performance by Hamill, and one of the things that he demonstrated is he's got some serious power in his right hand, and I think that was one of the things that really threw Bisping off.
Trying to get that leg free.
Hamill in the scramble. It's great balance.
And good job by Boach to keep it in guard. Tim Boach, originally from the small town of Lincoln, Maine. Talked about Forrest Griffin a moment ago. The Ultimate Fighter Team Rampage versus Team Forrest, the premier edition here tonight. 32 men fight their way into the house.
Boach at this point is just trying to keep Hamill from passing to mount. Trying to keep him in his guard.
Hamill injured during the Ultimate Fighter 3, unable to continue in the competition. He could have been on his way to becoming the Ultimate Fighter winner.
Another attempt at a scramble to get full guard, but Hamill stuffs it.
Good start by Matt Hamill.
Is that level of grappling that Hamill has. He's just such a powerful dude. That guy gets you on your back, you're in a lot of trouble.
Stop!
And they're going to stand him up.
Let's go. Up. Over
An
there.
interesting
over
tidbit
there.
about Matt Hamill in that fight with Michael Bisping is that he had a very badly injured knee, and it's one of the reasons why he says he let Bisping up every time they went to the ground. His leg would lock up. He had a bucket handle meniscus tear, and his leg would lock up if it passed 90 degrees.
Oh, they meet.
Exchange kicks.
Boach has heavy hands.
And so does Hamill.
Boach trying to use some head movement. And good
knees
knee by
Boach.
Tim Boach.
He showed a lot of those knees in the fights with David Heath.
Those front kicks were very lethal. Yeah. And again, he looks uppercut.
Tries a head kick there, but Hamill was at a distance.
The story has been well documented. Matt Hamill is deaf. He has excelled and overcome the obstacles that life has given him. And he is a tremendous, tremendous wrestler and athlete.
Nice leg kick by Bosch.
Three-time Division III National Wrestling Champion at the National Technical Institute for the Deaf in Rochester. And a 2004 inductee into the Division III Athletic Hall of Fame. Oh, almost ate the uppercut there, courtesy of Boach.
Boach with a nice knee.
Boach is looking to finish it with one swing upward.
Boach a little winded here.
Yeah, he does look a
away.
little winded, doesn't he, Joe?
It's, the strength of Hamill is very hard to deal with, and Boach spent a lot of that round on the bottom trying to get out of it.
Originally, this fight was to be Matt Hamill against Stephan Bonner. Boach happy to step in again because he had an opportunity to become a regular in the UFC when he stepped in on short notice against David Heath.
Matt Hamill's bleeding out of his mouth. Inside leg kick by Hamill.
Remember his striking on the show, Joe, and now you look at his striking now. I mean, there's no comparison to be made.
No, he's definitely gained a lot of technical skill. But the brute power that he has behind those punches is really what's impressive.
Both guys looking for an uppercut to connect here. There's one. And a huge knee.
And
Hamill
right to that
pushes
cut.
forward, though.
Hamill with a right hand.
Boach caught him with that knee. Under 30 seconds remains in round one. Boach trying to set it up again, Joe,
Good
but he eats
uppercut
one.
by Hamill.
Over the top.
Here comes a knee again.
Another one. Bloodied up is Matt Hamill.
Leg kick.
Good first round in the light heavyweight division.
And this is the reason. See that lip of Matt Hamill? That's the reason all the blood is there. That is a nasty cut on the lip. And it was caused by this knee from Tim Boach. Bang, right on the button. It's actually probably caused by the earlier knee, but that's what's doing the damage.
Good round one, turned in by Boach the Barbarian and Matt the Hammer Hamill. Boach really utilizing those knees. Now he's starting to work that lead leg. Boach basically after he picked David Heath apart, he picked David Heath up and threw him on his head. And he really likes to use that either rear push kick or the front kick as a weapon, Joe. That's a slow.
He felt Boach on top of him, but Hamill scrambles up quickly.
Boach does not
Big right hand by Boach.
Like he has an excess of energy and an excess of capacity in those lungs. He's breathing really heavy again here.
Well, we are at altitude. That's
Absolutely.
one thing people have to remember. We're in Denver, and it is very high up here. Very little oxygen in the air.
Some of the fighters came up weeks in advance to try to acclimate themselves to the high altitude.
Boach trying to hold on to that single. Hamill just landed punches. Boach better get out of here.
Watch your back, go ahead.
Hamill scurries to the back.
The hammer fist by Hamill.
Boach got to get out of here.
You got to get out of there.
You hear the referee Adam Martinez telling him to get out. Hamill trying to finish it.
Boach is in
serious trouble.
And this is not an effective way to stop it.
It is all over. Matt the Hammer Hamill defeats Tim Boach.
Big victory for Matt Hamill.
fatigue may have contributed to Hamill's ability to finish it from that position.
You know, Mike, I thought about that before we did this card. I was like, man, how many of these guys have acclimated to this environment? Because it is a big shock to your system. And you know what is also a shock to the system was Matt Hamill's strength, his wrestling ability, and that first round, he put a grinding on Tim Boesch.
Joe, our replay sponsored by Sega's Condemned 2 Bloodshot.
Here's the end. Hamill just relentless with his punches. Just, I mean, these aren't even landing that hard, but it doesn't matter. Just continuous bang, 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 bang. And Boesch just unable to defend. And here's the end. He's got the rape choke in place and just dropping left hands all over Tim Boesch.
From the full mount and to the victory. Matt Hamill defeats Tim Boesch. The Hammer winning here tonight in Colorado. There he is, Al Roker, the executive producer of Spike's new series, DEA. It's the show that takes you inside the day-to-day actions of the Drug Enforcement Agency. DEA premieres tonight on Spike. Good job done by Matt Hamill with the official decision. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Adam Martinez has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 25 seconds of round number 2. Declaring the winner by TKO, Matt the Hammer Hamill.
Matt the Hammer Hamill with Joe Rogan.
All right, I'm here with the winner, Matt Hamill. First of all, Matt, that is a nasty cut you got there on your lip. Did that come courtesy of a knee?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I give Tim a good job. He got a lot of horsepower. He got a great knee. I mean, give him a chance. I mean, he's a great fighter. You know, I mean, I give him applause to him. Thank you. I mean, it's a good fight. I've been working on my striking and working on my grappling, but I'm just getting a little better than previous fight. Like I said, I cannot leave it to the shrine because of a line against Michael Bisping. So I better off to finish it before the third round. And I would like to thank my trainer, Dolph Holm, Track, Bruno, and Matthew Stain. They're a fantastic trainer. And I want to say thank you to my family, my friends. They're all here. They gave me a great support. And in my love in Ohio and Utica, I want to say thank you for the support. Tia, Daddy loves you. Pat, hope you do well. All right, I'll be back. I promise you I'm not letting you down. And I'm still working my striking. All right, thank you.
Well, you didn't leave it in the hands of the judges. You finished this fight. Talk us through the end of the fight here, Matt. At the end of the fight in the replay, you just knew that you had to keep punching them and they would eventually stop the fight.
I thought I was going to go after him. I knew Tim had no choice to break the defense. So I just go all I got, you know. I knew he couldn't stop my punch. So I just go over, finish it until he stopped. But I'm doing great.
Congratulations on your victory. Matt Hamill, ladies and gentlemen.
A classy young man with such an inspirational story. Matt the Hammer Hamill, victorious here tonight in Broomfield, Colorado. Hamill, a star from The Ultimate Fighter 3. We have a lot of stars that are Ultimate Fighter veterans here tonight, and who knows, maybe that is a future Ultimate Fighter in attendance tonight. And speaking of The Ultimate Fighter, coming up next, Team Rampage versus Team Forrest.
This season of The Ultimate Fighter starts out with a war. The stakes are high, and there are no free rides. For the first time ever, these guys have to fight their way onto the show. 32 fighters.
Oh, I hear them.
16 battles.
Oh. Damn!
In the end, the losers go home, and the winners move into the house.
Bring it on! Fight! Let's do it!
This season, only the worthy will get a shot at becoming the next Ultimate Fighter.
champ is here. I'm here with the UFC light heavyweight champion and the coach of the next Ultimate Fighter, Quentin Rampage Jackson. How you feeling, baby?
I'm feeling pretty good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, next to the champ, man. Now, tell me, what was the experience like coaching on the Ultimate Fighter as opposed to just being a fighter?
Man, it was hard as hell because, I hate training myself. And I had a whole bunch of hard-headed ass kids that don't want to listen, but, it was cool. I had some good guys. They were really good. I learned a lot from them.
Now, being opposite Forrest on the show, did you learn anything during the time you're filming the show that you think, watching them train, that you think you could take into your fight with Forrest?
Yeah, I learned some stuff from some of the guys that I had on my team. I had some really good guys on my team, so I learned a lot.
Now, I understand that you and Forrest started out kind of friendly, but it got a little heated as the season moved on.
Yeah, well, you guys get a chance to, get into that a little later when y'all watch the show. I don't want to talk too much about it, but Forrest is a cool guy. But sometimes, I just get, I get in my ways, so I don't like certain things that be happening. Sometimes I get kind of pissed off, so.
Now, we haven't seen you in the octagon in a long time. How much are you looking forward to this fight with Forrest?
I'm looking a lot forward to it because, I got to, I got to get back in there. I ain't been there in a while. I got to show these fans what's up.
That's what I'm talking about, and I can't wait to see it. Quentin Rampage Jackson, UFC light heavyweight champion, ladies and gentlemen.
The coaches will square off at UFC 86, Jackson versus Griffin, July 5th at the Mandalay Bay Event Center for the Light Heavyweight Championship. Tickets for UFC Fight Club members go on sale Wednesday, April 9th. 1 week from today, tickets go on sale for the general public Saturday, April 12th at the Mandalay Bay box office and Ticketmaster.com. Tonight, it is our event of the evening as Kenny Florian takes on Joe Lauzon. And coming up next, it's a battle of top welterweight contenders as Carl, the Heat Parisian, takes on the Brazilian, Thiago, the Pitbull Alves. Right here on UFC Fight Night, live on Spike. Time to turn up the heat. Carl, the Heat Parisian, Thiago Alves, our looks inside the locker room. Courtesy of the Locker Room Cam, sponsored by the Forbidden Kingdom. In theaters, April 18th. Great judo practitioner. Awesome competitor. Parisian looking to get his chance for a title shot somewhere in the future. But he has to be careful against this man. Heavy hands and heavier leg kicks. Thiago, the Pitbull Alves. Rashad Evans, former Ultimate Fighter winner, still unbeaten in his mixed martial arts career. Hello, Rashad. He's getting set to take on the Iceman. Chuck Liddell, when Liddell fights in the UK for the first time in June. All right, welterweight division, Armenia meets Brazil. And two of the highest-ranked fighters in the UFC meet in an ultra-important bout. Carl Parisian, Thiago Alves, looking to move up the UFC welterweight ladder. In the crowded welterweight division, Thiago Alves and Carl Parisian have broken away from the pack as elite 170-pound fighters. But only one will move a step closer to a title shot tonight.
My main priority right now is to beat Thiago Alves. I'm going to go after him every second of the fight. Elbow him, kick him, punch him, submit him, whatever I can to beat him.
And I want to fight the best guys in the world. That's what I'm here for. Kai's one of the best. I'm going to take him out.
Thiago Alves is an exciting striker with a tenacious style. Winner of 4 fights in a row, including an exciting victory over Chris Lytle at UFC 78, the Pitbull knows that a win over Carl Parisian is what he needs to validate his quest for a world title shot.
He never fought a good striker before. I'm stronger than him, and I'm a better striker. I'm going to knock him out, and I'm going to get a knockout of the night.
With a record of 26-4, it's hard to believe that Carl Parisian is only 25 years old. But as the Heat approaches his prime, the world-class judo black belt is fighting with a sense of urgency as he gets closer and closer to his dream of fighting for the UFC welterweight title.
And all I see is a tunnel and Thiago Alves. I'm going to clinch with him and squeeze him so hard I want to break his ribs and take him down. I have a lot of respect for Thiago and his camp, but I'm not going to climb in the cage and try to take his head off.
Our tale of the tape for this welterweight matchup is sponsored by Bud Light. Bud Light keeps it coming. The Armenian, Carl Parisian, 25 years old. The Brazilian, Thiago Alves, 24 years old. 5'10", 5'9". Parisian with a slight reach advantage. This is a very pivotal fight in both of these men's UFC careers. For the official introductions, once again, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record of 19 wins with 4 losses. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 171 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, Thiago Pitbull Alves. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 26 wins with 4 losses. Standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 171 pounds, fighting out of North Hollywood, California, Cairo, the Heat Parisian. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Steve Mazzagatti.
Steve Mazzagatti. Beautiful Ariani, Edith here tonight. The UFC back in Colorado for the first time since March of 1994. Here we go. Big welterweight matchup. Tonight's clock sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Subway, eat fresh. Gotta watch the leg kicks, Joe, of Thiago Alves.
All of his strikes. His hands are deadly, his leg kicks. Caro knows about this, though. Looking for him to be very cautious. He's got the clinch. That's what Caro wanted. He's got the clinch and double underhooks. That's huge. And he's got the takedown.
Caro is about control.
Thiago has been submitted before. He was submitted by Spencer Fisher in his octagon debut. And Carl Parisian is gorilla strong on the ground. Huge judo background, nationally ranked competitor, was in fact training to compete in the Olympics for judo, and now is a full-time mixed martial arts fighter.
After our fight tonight, the Ultimate Fighter 7 begins, and already we're looking for contestants for the Ultimate Fighter 8.
Nice scramble by Thiago, but he gets them out.
You can log on to spike.com or UFC.com. Tryouts being held Thursday, April 10th in the Boston area. Next season, it's lightweights and light heavyweights for the Ultimate Fighter,
Thiago,
Season 8.
Good job there of avoiding the mount. Gets to half guard. And he's going to try to use the cage to stand up. He's got an underhook on the left side, which will help him stand up. And now he's up. Very nice. That's big. That's what Thiago wants. But as soon as, when Carl's got a hold of your body, if he can clinch his hands together, you're in danger of going for a ride.
Trying to utilize those judo skills again.
Oh, nice. You know, one thing to note is that Thiago has been training with Roddy Ferguson, 4-time U.S. Olympic judo champion, and he's been training Thiago on how to avoid throws, and I'm sure that's going to help him substantially.
Joe, Thiago on a 4-fight win streak. Alessio De Souza, Hironaka, and most recently he defeated Chris Lytle at UFC 78 in Newark, New Jersey.
And man, would I love to see a rematch of that fight. Phenomenal fight. Chris Lytle got cut, and they stopped the fight, but man, what a war that was.
Carl Parisian, remember, was set for a title shot a number of years ago, and then he was injured, and it's avoided him since that point. Diego Sanchez beat him, and Carl just desperately wants to win, and then get another chance, which would be his first chance at truly fighting for the title.
Thiago has not uncorked any of his famous leg kicks. So far, he's just standing in front of Caro and
any reason why he has not?
He's probably just trying to avoid the takedown. He was taken down once, and he didn't like it. A lot of energy it took him to get to his feet. Thiago is one of those guys who cuts a tremendous amount of weight to make 170, over 20 pounds. You know, he often walks around at well over 190, and, you know, at altitude, that could play a big part in his stamina. There's one leg kick, and again, that's what he's worried about. Caro grabs it immediately.
And Caro is definitely, as you said, looking to time the opportunity to take Thiago Alves down if he does throw the leg kick.
Yeah, he got his leg back in that position, but, you know, he was left with a little bit of a warning. Caro's ready for it, he grabs it.
Now Caro with the right foot forward.
And Caro's stand-up has improved dramatically over the last few years. We really saw it in the Berkman fight especially, and Berkman's a very solid striker.
Caro's really switching his stance up frequently, Joe, which may be somewhat of a defensive move against the big leg kicks of Thiago Alves.
Absolutely, to avoid that left leg kick. Or, excuse me, the kick to the left leg, the lead leg.
Parisian, decorated judo practitioner.
He's got the clinch again.
Olympic judo qualifier.
Thiago's taking some deep breaths here. And again, you know, this altitude has got to be playing a factor in everyone's strategy. There's just no way you can train. I mean, he lives and trains most of the time in Florida. And he's been up here for a couple of weeks. But there's just such a huge difference in Florida, which is at sea level. And here, you know, we're a mile high.
Same story for North Hollywood's Carl Parisian. 8-1 there, avoided the head kick though. Parisian now pushing forward.
Thiago seems to me a little bit tentative on his feet. And that's surprising.
Parisian with a little smile says, let's go, kid. Carl the Heat Parisian. Thiago the Pitbull Alves. Huge matchup on this, a very historical night on Spike TV. Alves hasn't found his range, has he, John?
Not yet. You know, I think that takedown by Caro right away, and also feeling the strength of Caro. I mean,
it's a great touch, yeah.
You know, Caro doesn't look like a particularly strong guy, but he's been doing judo his whole life, and his grappling strength is incredible. I've personally rolled with him, and the guy's strong like a chimpanzee.
Sweeps of foot. 10 seconds remains in round one.
Good round for Carl Parisian.
No big leg kicks scored by Alves yet. Joe, you talked about it. 5,412 feet above sea level, Broomfield, Colorado. Strenuous exercise should be avoided, unless, of course, you're a mixed martial artist.
Yeah, how weird is to see that sign right before you go into a cage fight? Nice kick by Caro.
As I said, a lot of fighters came early.
Caro is doing a lot of switching up. I like that.
Inside leg kick by Thiago Alves. A little more aggressive start here in round two.
Oh, good knee. Oh, Caro's in trouble.
And it is all over.
Wow.
Thiago Alves finishes Carl Parisian.
Caro's very upset. Very upset. He feels like that was a premature stoppage. And you know what? I might have to agree with him. I got to look at that again, but he looks fine. He's not wobbly at all. Let's look at it again. Here's the plum. He got caught with a knee. He's definitely hurt here. Takes a couple punches. I don't know. You know what? You got to go with the referee's call. He's right on top of him. He can see his eyes, but for sure, he crumpled there. He's in deep